Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1. And man, finally I have this video out for you. I've been going through so much here in the last several days, personally and all that stuff, like much of you, I'm sure. So it's just been hard to get this thing out. I've been putting a lot of time in it, and I was going to probably release it yesterday, but then some things with the intel on the USS Truman and the USS Abraham Lincoln have changed, and I'm trying to get some accurate intel, and I believe I have that as best as I can find. So, and thanks to S as well for her help. So, I am excited to bring this information to you. This time frame is included on the other time frames I've been talking about the last couple videos, but it's just extended. So, and I'm going to show that to you. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. It's super cold out here where I'm at in Colorado. It's like 20 some degrees anyway, and it makes it really dry outside. So so here I am with iPad Goat. I'm going to go through several things and talk about this timeline of the apple and it rolling, it falling and rolling, and where I think we might be. Now, again, I'm going to make sure people understand that all the time I say, I don't know the time exactly. I'm always speculating. This is a hypothesis of mine. This is theory. This is just the way it's always been for me. The Lord just give me all kinds of information at times, and a lot of information. And it's just, he gives me all kinds of puzzle pieces, and at some point I'll have it all together. I believe it's possible. So a lot of people don't believe that, and that's okay. You can disagree with me, but you don't have to be rude and mean. And I'm surprised sometimes how mean Christians, so-called Christians, if they even are Christians, I think there are some, how mean they are. They can't just have a normal debate or a conversation and all that, and that's too bad. But beyond that, I'm thankful to bring whatever information I have to the ones who are looking for it, and the ones who are willing to open their heart and their minds to the truth. Whatever version I can bring to you that is close enough to the truth as possible. So that's the way I approach this. These are pieces to a puzzle. I'm trying to put it all together, and sometimes I don't have most of the pieces. A lot of times I don't have most of the pieces. So I just do the best I can. So normal people understand that. People that have no understanding or afraid or feel threatened or whatever, they can't understand that. Okay. And people have different views. I understand that as well. So this is my view, and this is why I have my channel. And if people don't like it, they can go somewhere else anytime you want. So with that out of the way, I want to kind of start with this video here. This is a scene in iPad Goat, of course, a very famous scene as far as my channel goes. Again, this is a vision of the Revelation 12 sign, but a very distorted one. With the birth of the Antichrist. The whole iPad Goat 2, if you're not familiar with it, is a set of timelines kind of integrated together. They're overlapping and different things. They're different timelines that have a lot of foreshadowing, a lot of multi-meanings. They're multi-layered, and basically it lays out the birth of the Antichrist and false flag events and all kinds of stuff. In fact, I've shown over time over 50 false flag events that have been shown ahead of time on iPad Goat. So let me keep going with this. So we have Lily, which is represented by or represents in a sense the virgin in the Revelation 12 sign, the virgin clothed in the sun with the moon at her feet. But in this case, it's not the moon. It's something else. I'm going to get into that. And above her head is 12 stars. And in this case, of course, what the enemy is saying is 12 figures or 12 individuals or whatever. And it also means 12 months in a year. And I'm going to show you that. So this is the first month. This is January, going from left to right. And then we have this yin symbol here. So how it works in Chinese lunar calendar is that every odd year is a yin year. And of course, the yin is the dark side of the yin yang. Okay, it means many things. I'm going to get into some of that, what the difference between the yin and the yang are. But all the odd years are yin years. And so this is showing the yin, I believe, okay? And then that is 2019. Also, this whole, all these heads represent 2017 as well. And the back wall represents more of 2018, the Yang year, I believe. But there's references to each other from each year and all that. So that's another reason why we're in this year, and 2020 is not shown in this. Okay. If it is, it's somehow the back wall, and I don't understand it whatsoever. But that doesn't make sense because it would show the front wall and the characters here. And so, like I mentioned as well, all these characters here, and I've identified most of them, are presidents. And they go through a process every time they're elected and inaugurated of the raising of Osiris. And they go through rituals and everything like I've mentioned. And so that's why they're here. And there's a final president that's going to do the final ritual of the raising of Osiris, and that is Obama. And he's represented right here. This is him right here with the ultraviolet painted on him. Okay, and then there's other things. Like he has the LC, this L painted on him, and the sideways C, which represents L is 12, C represents 3. And that's Revelation 12:3, when the dragon appears to try to eat the child and that kind of stuff. And so this goes across the back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the 8th is the 8th month. And so this is an example, for one example of 2017, on the 8th month right here. Okay, there was a solar eclipse right here on the 8th month, and that was August 21st. The crazy thing about that is, the reason I have this 58 here is because the eclipse on 8/21/2017 was exactly to the day 58 years after Hawaii became a state. Now, because Hawaii became a state on 8/21, technically 8/21/1959, and so exactly 58 years later was the Revelation 12, not Revelation 12, sorry, the Great American Solar Eclipse. Happened on 8/21/2017. Exactly 58 days later. Now, I've mentioned in my last videos about how Trump is 58, but this shows example of 58, and it's marking out Obama being the Antichrist at age 58. And he just turned 58 August 4th of this year, okay? So at some point in his life, I'm saying he's going in at 58, he's going to be the Antichrist. And I believe this is very possibly the timeline I'm talking about. That's more evidence. It just so happens to be that it's exactly the founding of Hawaii, exactly 58 years before the Great American Eclipse. I don't think so. Okay, it's exactly, and that's how old Obama is right now. Okay, so, and then I'm showing you this timeline. It's going to be a little different than what I thought it might be in the past, because the Lord's really showing me more information. So now we have it going this direction from 9 right here, 10, 11, 12. And guess what? Obama's revealed as the Antichrist with the ultraviolet. The reason for ultraviolet, and the scene with him in the beginning where he has the tassel and it's in the back, because he's a president, when the tassel goes in the front, he graduates to become the Antichrist, and then he's the dragon. I've showed that many times. The tassel points to the dragon on the wall in the classroom. He's the dragon. So this showing in the 12th month, this timeline right here, which I think I finally understand, he's in the 12th month, and he is the president. Of course, right next to him, like I've showed you, and he's basically barbed wired together. So they're together in what's about to come. The removal of Trump, and then him coming on the scene, and they're barbed wired together here. And again, there's Trump with the part, and there's him doing the Illuminati triangle, which is also the tip of the spear, because he is the tip of the spear, which I'm going to get into in this video more, which is very crazy. You won't believe this. And then right here, this arrow right here that is under this is pointing to Jupiter, because this is all lining up at this upcoming annular eclipse. And Jupiter will be right off of the sun and moon combo. And that's what this is. This gold part is the sun. And then underneath, right by, is the moon. And that's what's shown many times. And here's another eclipse that's referred to. And so at 58, for example, this eclipse, he's 58. This coming up eclipse, he's going to be born, okay, as the Antichrist. That's why they're pointing to this eclipse, because eclipse has to do with his birthday. Get it? His birthday. Okay, so, and then right here, as you notice right here, this being Obama, again, he has an ear sticking out. None of the other presidents have an ear. Obama's known for his ears. There's all kinds of reasons why all this stuff, this is him. And then he has the LC, which is the dragon, in Revelation 12:3. And then this leg is right in the eclipse. See that? The eclipse is right there. He's the only one really. I mean, these are kind of melting here, but he's the only one with his leg in the eclipse. So that even more supports this upcoming annular eclipse, December 25th through 26th, is going to be when he's born. Okay, and I'm going to show this to you. Man, my throat's a little... Excuse me. Okay, and then it gets dark. We have a number of things I've talked about before, but in this situation, this points to her hair. There's also a 6 down here, backwards and everything, but it's hard for people to see. But this is upside down 23 right here, so I put a 23. There's a 6 in the hair right here, so this is 623. Again, all over the iPad Go, it shows 623. For example, like I mentioned before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is right here, 6 heads. She's the slash. And then these two are joined, so that ends up being 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 down here. So that's 623. 623 is 923. That's in thousands of movies and TV shows and all the kind of stuff. If you ever seen that, if you haven't, look it up on the internet. 923 in movies. You'll see tons of movies with 923 all over the place, or 623. It's upside down as 623 as well. So the elite look at 6 as 9 and 9 as 6. They're interchangeable. It doesn't matter. The same thing as they look at 9 being I, okay, because I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. I'm going to preface this with on this video that I'm going to talk about this in coming up here. So I is the 9th letter of the alphabet, and then I looks like 1. And so 1 and I and 9 and 6 are interchangeable because they are deceptive. They use many different techniques to hide their plans, like the devil does. He is very deceptive in every way he moves, in people, in scenarios, and situations and everything. So he's going to find different ways to hide his moves, but then he reveals them in different ways as he's required by God to do. So the fine print, as I've called it, or predictive programming, or all kinds of stuff. Okay, so here's the rabbit right here, which is behind her, and that's lit up. And by the way, this year, Sunday, April 21st was Easter, and so I'm really on this as far as Easter being what this represents. And then to December 12th is what I'm saying is the beginning of the birth, where the apple falls. Excuse me, man. December 12th is 236 days. And again, that's 623 backwards. So 23 is before 6. So you have 23, 6, or 236 days. And then it's so crazy because it says 7 months and 22 days. And I was remembering looking at Lincoln, we're talking about USS Abraham Lincoln being attacked soon. And I believe I'm going to show you that. It's coming up here even still. In a little biography about him, it says basically, finally, Lincoln was pronounced dead at 7:22 a.m. on April 15th, 1865. By the way, 1865 is easily 1 plus 8 is 9, 6 plus 5 is 11. That's 9/11 at the age of 56, which is 11 as well. So that's 11/11 too. There's so much in all this. I can't explain every single little thing, and I've explained many things in the past. So, but this is really crazy how this is 7 months and 22 days. This is another reason for 722. There are others as well, but let's keep it going. So that shows the apple, the beginning of the apple. Now I want to also kind of adjust my timeline as well. And I've talked about the Revelation 12 sign, and then to this birth I'm saying is 12:12 right here. 12:12 is also 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 plus 2 is 3 is 33. And it just so happens from the Golden Gate alignment I've been talking about in past videos that I pretty much discovered, okay, because it relates exactly to the Revelation 12 sign. The Revelation 12 sign had 5 planets in a row with some stars and the sun, and all exact 5 planets were in the Golden Gate alignment plus the sun here on 11/9 of November 9th of this year. That's why November was very important up to November 21st and even November 23rd, a lot of rituals and things. And so it wasn't the actual attacks, but this is all part of this whole timeline as I'm showing. And then Trump saying the calm before the storm. This is the fake storm. We're going into the actual storm, but it's actually the birth is going to be the beginnings of this, like birth pains in a sense. But right here as well, there was a 99 as well, but there's so much to this and it's hard to explain everything. But right here where the pluses was George H.W. Bush's death, which was 11:30. And then from this fake storm to his death was 9 days. From his death to 1212 was 12 days. And so that's the 912 or the 12-9 that I'm going to show you here in a minute. So there's a lot going on here. And of course, from this birth of 1212, well, I'm going to show you why I think the birth is 1212. Many reasons is 811 days if you include the day of the Revelation 12 sign. So it's crazy. That is the attack day code of 811. Okay, there's more past this. Then we have the 33 days from the 777. And then I'm going to show you how it goes beyond the 33 days and why. So the 33rd day, so I have it in gold, so that's the Golden Gate alignment, is 1212. Of course, there's going to be a birth on the 33rd day because they believe all that. 33rd degree masonry, 33 is a big number to them. In fact, Master Mason is MM. You turn them sideways and they become 33. And many other things. There's so much to all this. It's really crazy. Also, MM, Master Mason, is 44. And that's coming up here in a second as well. And that's Barack Obama. He's the 44th president. This is all planned, people. This is very intricate planning by demons for thousands and then up to now hundreds of years with these families that rule the world and all their emissaries, all their little minions, I should say, in politics and religion and all kinds of stuff. It's really crazy. Okay, so the apple falls right here, and she looks like she has a pain look on her face. She falls. It's a pregnancy. She drops the apple, like I've said many times, and then it actually looks like Jupiter. It's a red version of Jupiter. It's got the stripes. It's got the spot. This is also, because of the color of it, is a sun, and every time it rolls, it's a day. The Lord showed me this months ago, and I was very thankful to understand this whole process. It was very mind-blowing. Okay, and this is Jupiter coming, basically rolling from this eclipse. But it's also, you can also look at it in a sense as backwards as well. But okay, so anyway, here it rolls, and then it gets to the 18th of December, and it's the 7th day. There's a 7 on the floor. Okay, so the 12th, if you think about it, the 12th is the first day, 13th is the second day, 14th is the third day, 15th the fourth day, 16th the fifth day, 17th the 6th day, and the 18th the 7th day. That's how it works out. Okay, and like I've shown here, this is an H. This is an H right here, upside down, and it spells out Hawaii this direction. But as soon as it touches the 7, the H comes, and then as it rolls across the 7, it rolls this way, and Hawaii is spelled. Whether people see it or not, it's actually there. I've shown it in videos. Hawaii is there. So the apple represents New York and Hawaii both, because it's the big apple. I've shared a lot of this already. Okay, so it rolls past the 7. There's the end of the Hawaii. There's I there, without getting into all this right now. And the apple makes the 8 right here. Okay, so this C right here is completed by this apple to make it an 8 upside down, and it's in Obama's view. Okay, it's because his foot is pointed this towards us. Okay, so he sees it as 7 then 8 from his vantage point, but backwards, of course, because he's backwards and everything. All right, and so then we go to what it completes, hitting his foot, and that is 1219, which is the 8th day, okay? And like I've seen many times in these previous 11-day patterns I've shared in my videos, a lot of times when there's news about submarines, like Russian submarines and different things, like the low shark that was really low in the water, went down super deep and got caught on fire. Low shark, it's called low shark. I mean, it just... very bizarre. But anyway, those would a lot of times be on this 11-day period, and then it would be on the 8th day, which is when the shark or the a submarine story would show up. The 11th day would be like some kind of revealing of Obama sometimes, or some different weird things. Sometimes they would just have these patterns that they did so many times. So 1219 is the 8th day, and Obama's foot looks like a submarine. Okay, so I'm thinking there's going to be something on that day as far as the Abraham Lincoln and the USS Truman, okay, being attacked by Russian submarines on this day. And there's a number of reasons for that, so let me show you. So 1219 is, of course, 1219. We break it down. It's if we go backwards, it's 9/12. If you kind of read it backwards in a sense, put the 9 in front, and then the 1 becomes a slash. And they've done this many times in things I've shown, where a slash is, 1 can be a slash can be a 1. And then at this point of the timeline from the Golden Gate alignment, it's 40 days. which there's crazy. There's a lot of things about 40 days. Actually, I was talking about 2017 with the Great American Solar Eclipse. From that day and 40 days later was the Day of Atonement. So these are exactly, it was like judgment time, a 40-day judgment window, basically. So that's actually pretty accurate as far as biblically goes. Okay, and so that is a form of 9/12 or 12/9 that I've been showing many, many times. The 8th day, okay, because it is submarine, some kind of submarine attack, because Obama's foot looks like a submarine again. Okay, and then it goes back and forth a couple times, representing 9th day, 10th day, and then it splits at the 11th day, which is 12/23. Okay, and again, right here, we have this silver toe, and underneath that is a gold coin. It's a British coin, and that represents the silver and the golden gates. Okay, like I mentioned before. And then this is the splitting of the apple. This is Hawaii. This is the Big Island. And right at the end, the southern portion of the Big Island is the East Rift Zone. It's going to break off, and this splits exactly through that spot. Okay, on the 44th day. Of course, again, Obama supposedly from Hawaii, right? And he was the 44th president. Okay, this is just crazy. And then of course 12/23. Again, let me make this so clear as well. So 12 December is Decem, which actually means, again in Latin, I've said this many, many times, means 10. So that's how the elites really view it. I'm going to go back to, again, a few years ago when Trump was running for president. People thought he mistakenly said 9/11, and he called it 7/11. And he said that on purpose because they see, the elites look at the months as being the actual names. So Novem is November, which is 9. Decem is 10, and not actually 12 like we see it. So they have time and references for them, and they have time and references for the masses. And they're different, like I've shown. So in 12/3, it's really 10/23 because it's the 10th month. So that you take the 0 away, so that's 1, 2, 3, or in a sense 12/3, which is right here, LC. Okay, it's LC. 12 is L is the 12th letter of the alphabet, and then C is the third. And again, that's a reference to Revelation 12:3, the dragon that appears, and which Obama is. And I've shown that many times. So it splits here on 12/3. And then we also have one half is 12/23, and the other half is 12/22. Okay, and that's the 12/22 is the West Coast because it's touching Obama's foot because he's actually from Hawaii, which is on the west side of the United States. And then the West Coast is going to be hit by a tsunami after it gets attacked, because the East Rift Zone is going to fall into the ocean, cause a massive landslide, cause a massive hundreds of feet high tsunami, which goes across the Pacific. It's going to take about 4 to 4.5 hours for it to get across the Pacific and hit the West Coast. Okay, and then 12/23 is the same time. There's going to be an attack on the East Coast with Russian subs as well, and one sub is probably going to hit Babylon Canyon, which is just outside of New York, under the water. It's going to funnel a mass amount of pressure into New York, and then of course hit the whole East Coast, and that's on 12/23. Virtually, both events are going to be at the same time with different subs, Russian subs, at different points on the west side by Hawaii and one on the east side, just off the coast of New York. But they're going to do this simultaneously. Okay, so that's east and west. And of course, we have 2 seeds over here, which I believe is 2 subs, and then 1 sub over here. There's many reasons for this, but that ends up, again, being the 44th day. And then they launch nukes here, which is them launching it right here. And then it goes, I want to mention this. So 12/22, which is, I believe, the tsunami attack for the day for Hawaii. I've seen 12/22 on the clock for years. Before all this, more than any other, more than 11/11, more than 5/55, and I've seen all these on clocks many, 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 many times. Too many times to count. The Lord was showing me this, and now I understand exactly what 12/22 meant. And I've seen 12/23 many times as well, but 12/22 is huge, and I guess that's just when that starts. So that's what it means. So it technically started in Hawaii after 9 p.m., as I've shown in iPad Goat. It shows a little after 9 p.m. Hawaii time. Okay, and on the East Coast, a little after 3 a.m., and it's not technically Eastern time. It is the next hour later because the East Coast is made up of Nova Scotia, Canada, and Canada as part of that, where the big toe sticks up with this figure that's half male and female with this phallic symbolism. The old lady is in it, which is the Whore of Babylon, and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. I'm just going on a little rabbit trail here, but that is the time zone for 3 a.m. and then New York is 2 a.m. and that's shown in the Statue of Liberty that's floating. It's 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. So anyway, because they're going to be virtually the same moment. So okay, here we go, and then we have 1225, I'm saying 2 days later represents the two halves of the apples. 2 days later, also the two seeds growing together for each day. Let me go back. 2 days, one of each side, 2 more days, and then that's 1225. Again, from the Golden Gate alignment, that's 46. And again, 46 is 23 chromosomes and 23 chromosomes representing a birth. 46 has been shown many times in many things. So we have 33, 40, 44, and 46, and those are very substantial from the Golden Gate alignment, okay? And so this is Christmas, of course, and this is really crazy because I'm realizing now, if this is all correct, that Christmas, the false day of Christ's birth, because he was actually born in the fall. And there's some debate on that, whether it was September 11th and whether it was Tabernacles or whatever September 11th was or whatever the fall was. I have my ideas about it. I'm not getting into all that right now. But it was definitely in the fall. It was not in the winter. They've definitely set up this day for, I believe, according to what I see and everything so far, based on the birth of the Antichrist revealed to the world. And I'm going to get into more of that. And what's crazy about this, check this out. So this 12 in December, those center things in the middle of the flower, I can't remember what it's called now, the middle of the flower, the little things that come out of the middle of the flower, there are 12 of those, okay? And then I'm never able to put all this stuff together because I never looked at this date before until all these things are adding up to this day now. And then 25 petals, exactly. So the flower is 1225, which is very crazy. Hopefully you're seeing this. This is blowing my mind when I started seeing some of this stuff. Very crazy, okay? All right, so I want to show you something starting with that timeline from 1212 to 1225. I'm going to hit on different points of it. So starting with 1212, I have some support of this. Now I want to thank Jeff Overholt for his work. Thank you, brother, for some of your work here. And I'm going to expound on it a little bit. So from September 11th, 2001, which is of course, September 11 attacks, 9/11 attacks, right, to when iPet Goat was released, okay, which was June 24th, 2012, is 3,939 days. Maybe you see something in that already, okay? Hopefully you do, okay? And then from the release of iPet Goat to the birthday I'm saying, which is 12/12/2019, is 2,727 days. Now that already is very odd that would work out that way. Okay, but there's a number of things in this that I want to show you. Along with, I forget what I was going to also say. But anyway, let me keep going with this. So if you look at 9/11/01, it is 9/12. And so that is the number I'm talking about as well. 12/9, 9/12. It's in all kinds of gematria I've been showing in my last video and before. It's crazy. I've even got another one right after this pretty soon to show you that's pretty bizarre. There's no way that would work out. And then the date of iPet Goat release is 6 + 2 + 4, which is 12. And it was 2012, which is 12/12. And then 3 + 9 is 12, and 3 + 9 is 12. And that's 12/12. I mean, do you see a pattern going on here at all? Yeah. And then we're going to minus 3939 from 3939. We're going to minus 2727, and we get 12/12. Imagine that. And then of course we have 12/12 in this birthday I'm saying, and of course 12/12 here again. It is crazy. This is so bizarre how this all works out. Okay, this is not a coincidence. Okay, it points to 12/12. And as I've said before, and I'm going to reiterate a couple things about 12/12 as well, and that Brother Steve found, and another brother, I can't remember who, but from 1212 to 9/11 was 6,666 days exactly. Okay, and this is not the birth? I don't think so. And then, at least that's what I'm postulating. Like I said, if I have confidence about something, it's only because I've been shown amazing stuff each time I do these things from the Lord. And so I'm hoping this is it. And I have a lot of confidence that this could be it. And I see a lot of evidence of it being it. Each time I do these, each time I have a day, and I've had a few of them. I probably had like 13 of them or something in the last year and 4 months or something like that. And it's finally adding up to the final day. We're getting so close, and I believe this very possibly could be it. Okay, so we had 6,666 days from 9/11 to this day. And then we have 666 days exactly from Obama's presidential portrait where he's in a garden. Look it up. I've shown it in my videos. Look it up. He literally has a hand where he's hiding a sixth finger underneath his hand. I mean, that's not a mistake. The person who made it, Byerly, is an expert at painter. Okay, and he's got a sperm on his head. He's got a massive cobra head behind his head. People have shown different people and stuff. And then he's got, what I've found and I've shown is that his leg is if you're looking at him, his right leg is covered up by some foliage and stuff, and it's a black snake slithering on the ground. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how? And then for you people that don't see Obama as the Antichrist, how can you look at all the stuff I've presented and equate anybody else when Obama has, like I've shared, over 300 different solid reasons why he's the Antichrist? And I got more. I got some more on this one. Now check this out. Okay, so we're going to shift into where the Truman and the Lincoln were and are now. Okay, this is the best that I can find. Okay, based on my research, which is basically me and S. So my highly trained research team. S. Bond has Q and I have S. So I'm very thankful for that. Between us, this is what I've come up with so far. Okay. And I don't know about the latest updates today, the 11th. As far as I can tell, I think I looked a little bit in the morning, but I didn't see anything. So maybe some things have been updated since then. I don't know. But basically, Harry S. Truman, of course, was about to enter the Strait of Gibraltar, which is basically, in a sense, a Golden Gate. Like I mentioned, a Golden Gate is the strait. And then right here, the Abraham Lincoln was in I believe it docked for sure, or was definitely at the Bahrain there. Khalif bin Salman or however you say that. I forget how it's said exactly, but they're docked there, but definitely by the second or before. Okay, so, and then now we're tracking this. Now, this is really crazy. This was on... This is a story about the Truman, and this is the radar spinning. And see if you can guess what this represents. I'm not going to even say what it represents, but see if you can guess what this represents. And it looks like it's round and orangish yellow. Crazy. And this is Orion with Orion's belt right here. Okay. And Orion's belt points to something that's right, just barely off the screen. I wonder what it could be. Could it be, are you serious? Are you serious? Like somebody would say, and I wonder why they say that. Anyway, it's pointing to that, and they did a story. The image shows a blurry and glowing orange radar with stars in the sky behind it. The Department of Defense said the photo was taken during a night operation at sea. The little dyslexia there. The operation will reintegrate the carrier strike group and make final preparations to ensure equipment and sailors are operationally ready to deploy. Nice Orion says hi. Wow, I'm having a hard time reading this. Nice Orion says hi. One Twitter used comment referencing the stars in the sky in the photo. Okay, so they're signaling to Orion, and guess what? Like I said, Sirius. And it's just off the thing. I think if you could see it, it might be a little bit more obvious maybe. But I'm going to show you why they're kind of hinting to this. And that was on 12/5. I thought I had a date on there, but that was on 12/5 when the Truman had basically passed through the Strait of Gibraltar, which was the gold. See that? Golden Gate. It's gold. Anyway, that day they passed through the Golden Gate. And see how that's gold there? And there's some other stuff there if you can figure it out. Okay, and then by 12:10 yesterday, a lot of people were disappointed because it looked like, and it looks like, and it is, that Lincoln went through the Strait of Hormuz, because several people had, I forget how many people, maybe 4, 5, 6, I don't know, prophesied that USS Abraham Lincoln would pass through the Strait of Hormuz and then be destroyed then, or attacked then. And I think it's still possible, and it's very probable that it's going to go right back through. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that. And at that point, on the 10th, Harry S. Truman was right about here, past Italy and below Greece. And I'm going to show you some details that I have now. So, I was able to confirm through Twitter that this is the USS Abraham Lincoln leaving the dock in Bahrain on 12/3. This is the confirmation of that, visual confirmation right here. And then here is the Lincoln with the carrier strike group. And then it says here, this was somebody that posted something on Twitter, USS Abraham Lincoln transiting the Hormuz Strait on the way out of the Persian Gulf appears to have been escorted or harassed by approximately 20 small vessels, probably IRGC, which is Iran's vessels. I mean, Iran's north there, so of course, right above. So, but you see that right there. You can see the Abraham Lincoln right there. Okay, leading. Okay, so it did go through the strait on the 4th, it looks like. And that's verified by some other, even Iranian reporting. And there it is. I mean, not that they would tell the truth necessarily, but it's pretty much well known by different satellites and things. And there's the example of the Lincoln right there, heading it up. Well, maybe not heading it up. There's one in front of him here. So he's right in the middle here. So, if that's all true, if that's not all bogus, I mean, but the best thing we can do is find the intel that we can find and then a report based on that. So we'll see. But that's at least the story they're going with, and it's all going to come together in this story, this process. So, and I'm not sure why I have that again, but just to show that, okay, finally the Abraham Lincoln is outside the Strait of Hormuz and right in here, and that strike group is right here. The carrier strike group is what it stands for. So as of 12:10, they're right in here. Now, they could still go this way and meet up with the Truman or hang out there for a while or start going home, but they're not going to yet. Now, you'll see, this is all, I believe, okay, I'm just saying what I believe and what, information tells me, what I'm sensing, my spider senses or my spidey senses are tingling. Anyway, that this is not over and there's no way this is all happening for no reason. So, and all these things that have added up, like I'm showing you, okay? So, as of the 9th, which was a couple days ago, this poor person reported that USS Harry Truman isn't apparently going straight to the Arabian Sea to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. So this actually, when I saw this possible timeline, because I know about the apple rolling and everything, and I was looking at the birth of 12/12, I'm like, perfect. They're going to hang out. They're going to do some things. They're not going to go quite to the spot I'm thinking they're going to go to, that basically S and I have kind of figured out that they might be going to, and I'm going to get into that here on this video. It's going to be crazy. And we're postulating about this, but there's some striking stuff here that, that I'm going to show you. So it says the USS Abraham Lincoln, it will instead first join the Turkish Navy. I'm sorry. I'm off here. The Harry S. Truman isn't apparently going straight to the Arabian Sea to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. It will instead first join the Turkish Navy for a joint exercise in the Eastern Mediterranean starting on December 11th, which is today as I'm doing this. Okay, so they're hanging out, doing some joint exercises with Turkey and actually Greece, I think it was. So they can hang out for a few more days and then go where I think they might go. So I'm going to talk about that. So this was another satellite view from days ago. Some brother on his channel, I cannot remember, but someone just forwarded this to me. And I looked at it, and it looked at a possible time frame from the 7th, when it was spotted on the 7th of December, and how it would go this way based on, I'm going to say here, the USS Harry S. Truman possible route to the Arabian Sea, extrapolated from the satellite spotting on December 7th, using an average speed between 17 and 21 knots for normal navigation, 10 knots for the Suez transit. Okay, I'm going to talk about Suez, which is crazy too. Okay, this is all about birth. I'm telling you, this is crazy. So there's going to be a birth here in a sense. And I'm saying that this was what this person was estimating, about 1212. It would get to about here. Okay, but now they're hung up right in here to do these exercises and things. It's going to take them a few more days to get down here. And I'm saying, based on my model, they should be right around here. I'm guessing, and I'm showing you some things that we've come up with, S and I together, about what might be going on. And I'm guessing the 1219 right here. Well, why? The SS Harry S. Truman would be right here. USS Harry S. Truman would be right here at the same time on 1219 as the obviously the USS Abraham Lincoln would be going back here for some reason and be struck here. Now, it's possible they could both meet in here and it would happen. I'm not saying I know exactly, and this is just a theory I have right now, but let me explain this crazy theory to you. And I think there's some evidence to it, but it's pretty crazy. Okay, so you remember in the Truman Show, I've shown you things about the Truman Show, but if you've seen it, right? I mean, right behind him is this X stuff, which looks just like the pillars on the Golden Gate, the foundations of the Golden Gate, which are basically represent two legs of Ophiuchus in the stars. And Ophiuchus is right before the Golden Gate. Ophiuchus represents Jesus, and he is wrestling a serpent. Okay, and that's where basically right before the Golden Gate, right at the Golden Gate. And so that's why these are here. Now, this is the Truman Show is pointing to the Golden Gate being the Golden Age and what's going to happen. And this is their crazy esoteric meanings and stuff, and their religious meanings. So in the movie, he's greeting these people, and then this light falls from the sky, mimicking a star, because it's like a fake star that was in his fake world, and it falls. Okay, and then he goes over to it, looks at it, he's like, what? And he happens to be between two pillars right here, which represent the 11. They want to go from the 11 to the 1, or the 2, both sides, good and bad, and they want to go to 1. Okay, and he examines it. Oh, I forgot to put that in, or I missed putting that. I had that here. He looks at it, and it says Sirius 9 Canis Major. So he looks at it. So what I'm saying, what I saw back months ago, was when I was looking at the Truman as a possible, before I even knew that Truman was going to relieve the Abraham Lincoln, because I've been following the Abraham Lincoln, this whole idea, because I saw an iPad Goat in June, and I've been following it since then, and I thought we could have something in July, and possibly because Trump was referring to Abraham, or it was at the Lincoln Memorial and all this kind of stuff. But Truman is going to meet Sirius, is what I believe it's showing in predictive programming, and I'm going to show you that here. Okay, so another thing I want to mention here is it's going to go through, as I showed you earlier on that map, it's going through the Red Sea finally to get through that narrow opening basically at the bottom of the Red Sea. And I know a lot about biblical archeology and have been studying it for years. And Ron Wyatt was the first to find the two pillars that King Solomon put on both beaches to commemorate the Red Sea crossing. Okay, and I'm not going to read all this, but you can read it and pause and read this. But here he is documenting it, taking pictures, and etched in both these pillars. One was on one side of the Red Sea. One was on the other side. This was on the Egyptian side. The Saudi Arabian side. This was on the Egyptian side. So the Saudi Arabian one was removed later when he had literally talked to archaeologists in Saudi Arabia, and then they later removed it to get rid of the evidence, because they don't want evidence showing what actually happened and everything. And here it is. So here it is. This is on the Egyptian side right here, and then we have pictures of it, and then we have this is the actual crossing across the Red Sea, and this is where they gathered on basically the Gulf of Aqaba here, and they got stuck here, and there's all these massive, huge mountain range here, and there's just a path right here. And so the pillar of fire came down, stopped Pharaoh from attacking them. They're all congregated right here. They're like, where do we go? Because there's mountains all over here. It's crazy when you look at this actual relief of this, how this actually happened. This is Nuweiba Beach, and they have nowhere to go. And they went across. In fact, it's a land bridge that's underneath the water that God cleared the water away, of course. And this has been all documented this is actually video. And I've seen this. It's pretty remarkable. Look it up. Red Sea crossing, Ron Wyatt. There's another guy, I can't remember his name. He's French. And they took scuba gear and everything. They went down in there, and they found these coral-encrusted chariot wheels. This is one right here. There's one that was literally you got the shaft and then the top wheel, you got the bottom wheel. It's all together, the both wheels and the shaft sticking out of the ground or sitting on the ground there, and they're coral encrusted and all this. And this is a preserved gold chariot wheel that we know from hieroglyphs that Pharaoh had the 4-spoked wheel and the soldiers had the 6-spoked wheels. So that's a 4-spoked golden wheel. So this was Pharaoh's chariot right here, and it's gold, and they couldn't go down there and touch it because it would just disintegrate. So they just took a lot of pictures and they took video of it to preserve the record. So this could be looked up. If you don't know anything about this, it's pretty phenomenal. And things that Ron White's found, like the actual real Noah's Ark and everything on one of the mountains of Ararat, and did subsurface radar, found all levels of it, 3 levels of it, and it's exactly the same exact length that's described in the Bible, and the width, and all this stuff. Found molten rock, molten metal that Noah made way back then, rivets and stuff that joined the pieces, cut the timbers, which are now rock, petrified rock, and they're layers. It was laminated wood together, and it's just crazy stuff. You can look up all this stuff. It's really amazing. I just wanted to mention that because there are 2 pillars. At least there were 2 pillars in between the Red Sea, and they're going to go through these 2 pillars. And then on this side as well, where this pillar was, they got rid of it and they put this thing here. Just ridiculous, these guys. And they have fences all around the actual Mount Sinai. If you don't know about that, it's barbed wire fences and everything, so people can't get in there. But family did and documented and everything. The split rock is there. It's everything. It's really crazy. But anyway, the reason I mentioned, there's my picture. The reason I mention that is just because it's crazy how when Truman gets to the Sirius light, it's between 2 pillars, and so they're going to go through the Red Sea, and there were 2 pillars there, which means a lot of things. It's multifaceted. It means several things. I'm telling you. Okay, and then I've kind of went through this scene. Right after that, he gets in his car and starts driving, and then you see I've stopped it. It's just a short little couple-second clip, but then there's 2 pillars right here, and what I think this means. So I reverse this image to show what I think they're showing, and it's 2 ships. 2 ships right here, represented by this 2. It's backwards. And then it's backwards to you, but then this is backwards in a sense. So we have 9, which represents the Abraham Lincoln, which is 7 plus 2, because it's the CVN 72, which is 9. And 9, like I said, is I, but it looks like a 1. And then 7.5 or 75 is the Truman, which is 75, which 7 plus 5 is 12. And then there's a S and a T. And when it's backwards in the other thing, it's actually T is 20 in simple gematria and S is 19. So this represents 2019. So this shows the day. And it's actually the 12-9 I was showing you. So that's backwards, basically, like I showed you in that apple roll. So, and that's the 19th, because it's 12-19, and then this 9th, the 1 in the 19 becomes a slash. It's backwards. That's what I'm saying, okay? But it's showing it right here. I mean, the Truman Show is going to meet Sirius. So I missed a clip. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, anyway. And then right in here, I show this pentagon right here, and how it's pink and purple, and Obama has a pink chair, and he's got a purple tassel pointing that he's the dragon. There's a dragon right here. He's eating the egg, and then his hands change into praying hands, which show that the egg he's eating is a Christian baby, the man-child that's about to be going to heaven. And then right here, this shows how the Abraham Lincoln is 7 plus 2 is 72 is 9, and then the Truman is 75, which is right here. This is all massive coincidence? No, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm just breaking this down and how intricate this stuff is by demons that work through people in media and stuff. Okay, I had it backwards here, so I'm going to show you this first and then that. I had an extra slide. Okay, so Truman came through here. This is the Golden Gate. This was done by Louis Vega. This is basically representing in the stars how the constellations are that are important for the Golden Gate and the Silver Gate. The Golden Gate is right in here off of Ophiuchus, and this is all representing that. Then over here, the Silver Gate is from the Club of Orion. And remember I said the Truman, when he was going through the Mediterranean, did that little thing where they hinted out the Orion and said, "Hi, Orion." Orion says hi, right? So they're hinting that they're going to Sirius, because the Sirius was just off the screen a little bit, And so they wouldn't want to make it super obvious, but they were hinting to that. Okay, so the Truman went through the Golden Gate at 12:05. That's documented. I showed that. Okay, and then it went through here. It kind of slowed down over here, started, it went through here, and now it's roughly in here. Okay, I'm doing these exercises with the Turkey and even some with Greece, I believe. And we know that from that article that they started the exercises today, which is 12:11. And so they're going to hang out there for who knows how much time. And I believe they're going to go through the Gulf of Suez and then come through here and then be right here, right where the belt of Orion comes down and Sirius is right down here at this point. And I believe it's right. The belt points to where Sirius is, which is right at the bottom of the Red Sea. And that's where they're going to be on 12/19. It's very possible. So this is what I'm saying. This would be incredible if this all matches up or pretty close to it. So I'm saying this is very possible, and these dates could line up. Okay, so they're up here right now. It's going to take them days to get down there, and that could hit it just right. So this is so important for their whole eschatology, all their religion, their false doctrine and everything that they believe. All these psychos that run the military and everything. The higher ups, not the people that are going to be murdered from all this and who are used as pawns. And it's a pathetic thing. I mean, it's really sad. And it's really tough to think about this stuff because I've been dealing with it. I've gotten visions of people dying, and that's why I'm doing these videos, for crying out loud. And you people who give me a hard time, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You really should. And at some point, I pray that you would adjust the way you think in your heart and that you would be forgiven by the Lord, because I forgive you already, but I pray that you'll be forgiven before you're judged for your nastiness and how you've lived your life. And you need the Lord Jesus. Any of you that comment and make ridiculous claims and are super mean and all that, that's on you. I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's just, it's sad that someone trying to present the truth for the benefit of many people, including you, to warn you, and you can't see the forest for the trees, and all you want to do is attack. And that's just sad. I mean, this is not the world we want to live in, is it? I don't. So this world that we know is about to pass away very soon. Very, very soon. Okay, so this is crazy. Remember I was talking about the 12:9 or 9:12 thing? Literally, these two guys match exactly. I mean, James Danforth Quayle, Vice President Quayle, remember I was talking about George H.W. Bush, who died on November 30th last year. And his vice president, it matches exactly 12:9 or 12:90, whatever, take the zero away. And then Joseph Robinette Biden matches exactly, and he's a vice president as well for Obama. You can't tell me that this is not planned. I mean, this is impossible for two vice presidents from these two people that have been proven members of Skull and Bones. And I mean, they're all part of different clubs, but they're ultimately on Satan's team. And they have the exact same English gematria. Are you kidding me? There's no way. That doesn't equate. It's just one more thing to add to the massive stack I have. But I thought this was very striking. And my daughter found this. She's a little me in some ways. It's really crazy, but she's like, oh, I wonder if this is this and this and that. And she's amazing. If you heard her dream in my last videos, one of my last videos, was it last video or video before that? Video before that. I can't remember anymore. But she's going to do probably another excerpt, the rest of her dream, in maybe my next video. So that'll be interesting. So about what's coming right before anyway, I'm not gonna say it right now. So anyway, so again, like I said, the 8th day was 12:19, and then 12:19 is also backwards 9/12. Okay, which is also so like I said, 12 is the 10th month really by the elite. And so then you take the 0 away and it ends up being a 119. Well, who's Mr. 119 or 911? It's Trump. Okay? Proven it many ways. Okay, and this is a little thing that someone put together, America's 21st century disasters, from 9/11 to Trump's election. Anyway, I can't disagree actually in a way. Listen, I am not a conservative. I mean, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm more conservative, but I follow Jesus. I'm a believer of the Bible completely. I follow Jesus 100%. I'm not tricked into this right-left paradigm that's a complete lie, while the real people who run everything on both sides manipulate everybody to fight each other. And it's called the Hegelian dialectic. Look it up. If you don't understand this, if you're in the right-left paradigm, look up the Hegelian dialectic and get an idea of what's actually being done to you if you're stuck in this. If you're a big Trump supporter, or you're a big Obama supporter, or you're a big whoever, whichever side you're on, that you want to make the other side an enemy, instead of making the real enemy, Satan, the enemy, you've been duped. Okay? I was duped too. Okay? Until Jesus started waking me up to the truth and what was really going on, and that, things aren't changing and both sides are doing the same thing in different ways. It's just crazy. Okay, so here's Trump, Mr. 9/11/11/9. In many ways, I've explained that. And then here, here's an example of that Sealy commercial where the sheep are 11/9, and his name, Donald, is 11/9. I mean, give me a break. So he's in so many ways, I can't even get to all the ways that he's 11/9. So he's tied into this, and so what I believe is going to happen is what it shows in many places, and I've shown this, and I'm going to get into more here, is that he's going to be attacked when these things are attacked. The day that these aircraft carriers are attacked, he's going to be attacked, because in a sense, he's the old Lion King, Lincoln, and he's going to make way for the true man, which is Obama, the true man. But both they're going to be killed so we can make way for the true man. Which is what the enemy is saying, and they're calling Obama the true man. But part of it is the twin. Again, I'm about twins, talking about twin births, the man-child into heaven, and the evil revealing of the Antichrist, the birth of the Antichrist on earth at this virtually the same time. But there's a process here. There's a day's process, and thank God we have days for when this stuff starts happening. We have days to warn, and we have days to bring people to Jesus, and we're going to see a lot of people come to the Lord, because things that we've been talking about and other people have been talking about, and prophets and different things are going to come to pass very soon. Okay, so like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, in this particular scene in iPad Go, there's the woman weeping, and there's the boy that's killed. He's a Syrian, and then in her head covering is VD, which is not venereal disease. I don't know what came to my mind. Anyway, just being silly. 22 and 4, which is 44. It's 44th president. In her eye, maybe, I don't know, it kind of looks like a mascara, but they don't wear mascara really, but it's her eyes running from tears. And that's MN, which is 1314, which is 45. Presidents 44 and 45 are represented right here. And then, and I showed some gematria about that, and I've shown it in the past videos. So I'm just showing that when these both get attacked, there's something with the presidents as well. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here as well. And then I also showed this as well with Lincoln Nation and stuff, and how these two aircraft carriers match. There's a 9 right here. That's it's kind of a negative version of the 9 with the clouds kind of outlining it a bit. There's a 9 right here. You can look at that. And then right here where the bandage come down, there's a 1 and a 2. The 1 sideways and a 2, which is a 12. And that represents both of these. And then these are the 2 aircraft carriers that look like big mountains or monoliths. This looks like a mountain. This looks like a monolith. And this makes me think that they're a distance away, that they're not going to be in the same vicinity because of how far they're shown here. So that makes sense what I'm going to show you here soon. And then that's the 9-12, or the 9-12, or the 21-9 or whatever, or 12-9, whatever. Either way, as all this stuff shown in many ways. Like I show here, here's Lincoln Nation 9-12. There's Trump assassination, which is 21-9. I mean, however you want to look at it, it's kind of symbolizing the same date. And I'm theorizing that it is December 19th. Okay, here we go. And I'm showing it right here as well. So that shows the attack. There's a head wound. This is the bottom of Obama's face with his nose looking up with his eyes closed. Head wound. This thing looks like a submarine and an aircraft carrier. The top of it right here. And then there's a submarine here, and there's an aircraft carrier, kind of distorted shape. But that's an aircraft carrier kind of with the angles and everything coming out of the water again. Another scene, and then that would equate the submarine to attacking the aircraft carrier right here in the red circling there. Okay, so Again, and then right here, like I mentioned in previous videos here, this is Trump. It looks like Trump's head with his part right here. There's a nose, the kind of darkened eye right here, like he's dead basically. And this is pointing to that same time. You have the attack on the head, and it looks like Obama could be, I'm just saying, this may be just symbolic, and he may be, in a sense, killed symbolically by some rituals or whatever. Or he may get attacked on the 18th, which is the 7th day, where the apple hits the 7th day, which is also represented by Hawaii. And like I showed back here, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to go all the way back. Okay. There was lava flowing and everything. I actually don't have the slide in here, I think. There was lava flowing at the time the woman has the dead child on her. And different things I've shown in my past videos. So you should know that if you please watch those, by the way. Watch my last videos. I'm on episode 12. And episode, I guess part, oh man, I'm trying to remember, part 5 or I think part 6 of iPad Goat Absolutely Solved on this video. So anyway, watch those because you can see some of the things I've shown in the past that I can't get into everything this time, okay? And then so this is Trump, and then he has his hands in a point. He's the tip of the spear. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit. The tip of the spear, I've shared that in one of my previous videos here. He's the tip of the spear. That's what he's doing right there. There's also an Illuminati triangle as well, different things. But he really believes he's the tip of the spear, which is the spear of destiny that pierced, they call it, and they made it all mythological and everything, the spear of destiny. Supposedly they have the spear that, or somebody has it, that speared Christ, and blood and water came out. Anyway, and he believes he's the tip of the spear. And I've shown that many times. It's all over the place in different things. In fact, like I've shown, the Trump Tower actually shows a spear, and then these trees become the tip of the spear right here. This is the tip of the spear, and this is Trump Tower, okay? And I believe this very possibly when these aircraft carriers get attacked on the 19th possibly, and that's my best guess right now, that he's going to get attacked here in New York or Manhattan possibly at the same day, which is what is signaling, because he is Mr. 11-9 and Mr. 9/11, backwards, forwards, doesn't matter, okay? And here is the Red Sea, which the Truman's going to come through here, and this looks like a spear. He's going to be right on the, I actually included that. Well, okay, I did that a little soon. I'm trying to rush through this thing, and I made a couple mistakes, but that's how it goes. I want to get this out to you as soon as I can. But that Truman's way up here off of Turkey and whatever is going to come through here. This is the Gulf of Suez. I'm going to get into what that is. That's pretty crazy. And then the Red Sea, okay? And this looks like a spear. Do you see how this looks like this spear of destiny? And then I believe on 12/19, it's very possible, as S and I have theorized, that at this point, they'll be attacked. And this is also, the way this land comes together, it's also could be, in a sense, a birth canal or a ring of fire, in a sense, okay? Just like Hawaii is in the middle of the ring of fire of volcanoes and volcanic activity and everything. And that's not, and that the birth would be based on Hawaii, and Hawaii is in the center of that. I mean, it's called the Ring of Fire. If you've had any children, I've had some babies, and that is actually called the Ring of Fire, which is really crazy. Okay, and here's the so-called Spear of Destiny looking like this spear, in a sense, with some angles. I mean, of course, it's distorted, but, you can't make this perfectly like this. But this is crazy. Isn't this crazy how it looks like a spear, and this is where it goes into the actual pole of the spear, or whatever you call that. I mean, it's crazy, man. So this may happen like this, or may not. But it looks like they're signaling to this, okay? So, again, we have the 25th is what I'm talking about, and I'm going to hit some things on the 25th, or Christmas time. Okay, so right on the 25th going to the 26th, depending on what time zone you're in, if you're in the United States, we won't even see this, because it basically is only shown here, and starting in the Middle East and going down here through Indonesia, Malaysia, and stuff like that, okay, right through here, and it ends here. Now, it's crazy. Right here, where it's right in the midpoint, basically, this is what it looks like. The shadow looks like. And does that look like something that you know of? Could it be an egg? As in conception and birth and all that stuff? It's crazy. Okay, yes, it looks like an egg on purpose. And guess there's something going on right there. I wonder what it could be. Oh, by the way, this starts at right where the USS Abraham Lincoln was, right in here where it was docked is basically where the totality is going to start. And that's a massive coincidence, right? Yep. No, not even close. And then it's going to go through here, and then it's about 3:30 UTC time, which is about 10:30 East Coast time, and then it's going to come through here, and right at about 5:15, 5 to 5:15 UTC time, which is midnight to 12:15 East Coast time, which I thought was very crazy. There might be something to this midnight thing on that day. I wonder. Okay. And then it crosses here. But guess what's going on right there? Actually, right now, but then also through the 25th. I wonder. We have right there is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And guess what? 200 young leaders will get to meet Barack and Michelle Obama in Malaysia this December. In fact, the gathering will take place from December 10th to December 14th in Kuala Lumpur, just before the Obama-Singapore talks. I mean, literally, they're going to be right here at his day of birth, I'm saying. And his day of birth, again, whether it's esoteric and symbolic versus literal, it looks like it's esoteric at this point for 12/12, but he's going to be here right at 12/12. And guess what? And like I showed you, what's right there? There's an egg. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Only demons, which are super, super sick and manipulate all this stuff through people, are making this stuff up. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. This is pretty crazy how this all coordinates. Okay, anyway, this is what's going on at this point. And who knows what's going to happen, but I think he will, at some point, be back there for this eclipse that's going to happen, which is in, from that day, 13 more days. And 13 is the number for rebellion. So, I mean, that's appropriate, of course. Anyway, he's all about being rebellious. I mean, Barack Obama said a lot of things when he was a lawyer and all kinds of stuff in a city, what do you call it? What was he? He was an organizer or something like that. He said so many things against God and everything. And, and as president, oh my goodness, just so many things. Anyway, and then here he is right here, the guy himself, the Antichrist himself, that was going to be the Antichrist, indwelled by Satan very soon. That's pointing to Jupiter, okay, which is what this symbolizes. This is this annual eclipse, I believe. Okay, well, this is the sun, and then the moon's covering up, and that's what I'm showing you. It's the annual eclipse that's going to happen here on the 25th/26th, depending on where you are. And then this is Jupiter. Again, Jupiter is also Zeus. Okay, depending, whether it's Roman or whether it's Greek or whatever, there's many names. Egyptian is Osiris, same guy. And in Hebrew history, it's Nimrod. They're all the same guy, which all represent the coming Antichrist, which is going to be the renewed version of all those, okay, that the enemy sees, okay? It's just, it's revised Babylonian bull, okay? I mean, really. And then right here, I wanted to show you this. So we had this Red Sea right here, and this is the spear I'm talking about. It also looks like a snake or something like a serpent here with these two land masses right here. It looks like eyes, and it's going to be right at the mouth. It kind of looks like a serpent in the backbone of the serpent or something. It's really crazy. But right up here, right up there, like I said, this is the Gulf of Suez. And guess what Suez is? Go tilt to the left a little bit and read it almost backwards. You can right here, is Zeus. It's just a massive coincidence that Suez is Zeus backwards. So when the true man comes through here, he'll be birthed as Zeus. And right here, he'll be birthed as something else. Oh my goodness. Anyway, these are all massive coincidences. No big deal, right? No, he'll be the god Sirius, which is really Anubis, which is shown, the Antichrist is sitting in the boat of Anubis, right? And then all that, yeah, that's all coincidence, and no, not even close, okay? And I'm not going to read all this, so you can stop this and read this if you want, or I'm going to try to include this in the notes from Sabine. I'm going to get these notes from her. But basically, when it comes to Malaysia, where he's going to be in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, it breaks down. You can read this. This symbol is foreshadowing perhaps the prelude to the rise of the forces of darkness and the imminent revealing or birthing of Lucifer's Antichrist before the start of the tribulation period. There's been much that is answered about the whereabouts of the plane, but the specific letters highlighted in the logo of Malaysian Air, when summed up, equal the esoteric number of 33. It is one of the primary signature numbers that perhaps the Luciferians are using to current events to signal the imminent birthing of the beast, of the god of the trident. Okay, so this is how it breaks down. MAS 33. Okay, there's more about each letter, M and A and S. And you can look at this article. I should have something in the description box, a link to look up some stuff that S is going to help me with, include eventually, hopefully very soon here, today or tomorrow. But anyway, and then it just so happens to make sense for Xmas, because X marks the spot. That's where he's going to be. That's where he is right now. And that's where he's going to be when this annular eclipse happens. And Xmas is what Xmas means. And it's on Christmas. And Xmas means the X is on Malaysia. I mean, I hope you see this. If you don't believe it, that's fine, but it's coming. I mean, I really believe this is really crazy. Okay, and like I said, the X will mark right here where he's going to be in Malaysia. Okay, MAS is the abbreviation for this. And then I'll have in the notes as well, you can look at this information about, if you know about this Malaysian Air that basically disappeared. There's a couple of them that just disappeared. Okay, we have the Boeing 777 disappearance, both are 777s, and these different disappearances. I mean, it's crazy. The information's right here on this. You look at the notes. It's just bizarre. It's really bizarre. And actually, the flight path was the same as the eclipse. This eclipse that's coming. So that's all coincidence? Nope. Okay, so here we're at here. This is Osama bin Laden scene. Okay, and he is raising his hands, and if you notice, he has dark wings. So he's the angel of the bottomless pit. He's showing that. This is what I'm telling you right now. This is what the Lord's showing me. He's the angel of the bottomless pit. That's why he has black wings on. He's raising his arms to open the abyss. Okay, what is this showing? I'm going to show you here. So this is the eclipse, okay? And this ends up showing, so this is the moon right here, and this is the sun. But see how the sun is shown as reddish, okay? And you got, red kind of highlighted in this spots here. And this also symbolizes what I believe and I've been shown. This is the opening of the abyss, almost like the stone rolling away. The abyss is opening, okay? See this? Do you see, does the sun look like that? No, this is an eclipse. Okay, it may fool people that this may be the texture of some of the moon, and it may be, but no, this is an eclipse. Okay, I'm very confident in that right now. And right here, if you can see this is a face of a woman with a hood or hair. No, it's actually a hood. It's like a hood, like Mary or something like that, right? There's a woman's face and then her body right here. And then guess what? Right here, there's a baby and it's floating. It's floating up. And there's where its head would be. It's wrapped in swaddling clothes. This is a baby right here, okay, in white. And then right here is a scorpion tail. Okay, see that with the segments? The scorpion tail. And then in the end of the scorpion tail is another baby. And it's not super clear, but it's like wrapped up as well, kind of like this one's wrapped up, and it's got a point on it, like this one has a point, and it's a baby coming down, like, Satan cast down, Lucifer cast down to earth, right? And that's this birth. This is a dark baby and a light baby going up, floating up, okay? At the same time, the abyss is opening, and guess what? This is also an eye, like you don't see the other eye over here. This is an eye, and these right here, this and the baby also become mandibles right here of the locust. Okay, the locust with a scorpion tail up here. See the scorpion tail? The tail's right in front of this woman's face. So it's a twin. She seems to be the only woman here. So it's a twin birth. It's an evil dark birth and a baby wrapped up right here, and evil light birth. Now let me show you this. Okay, but the name Sabarka, which is what Obama was originally called. He was originally Barry Sabarka when he was in Indonesia, which is where this is going to take place, Indonesia/Malaysia, and he supposedly lived there when he was a kid and all that, which is another massive coincidence, right? Well, Sabarka backwards is Hakrab Eos, which means Hakrab equals scorpion, and Eos means goddess of the dawn. Okay, So he is the scorpion goddess of the dawn. Is Sabarka, it just happens to spell backwards? Hakrab Eos? I don't think so. And guess what? When this eclipse finishes, it's going to be a dawn. That's a dawning. It's a dawn when the sun, the moon covers it up and then the moon goes away from it. You think of the sun kind of coming up as a dawn. It's the dawn of the scorpion. Look at this, a scorpion tail right here in this dawn. And this is mandibles of this. Now let me show you this. So why is this important? Because in Revelation 9, we learned that the Antichrist, who goes by Satan or Apollyon, is the king of the army of scorpion-tailed locusts from the bottomless pit. So we have a scorpion tail right here, obvious. I mean, we've got the stinger right here. It's segmented right in here. Okay, it's hidden a little bit, but it's a little bit obvious. I mean, when I point it out, of course. And then we have a baby, but this baby also becomes this side to these mandibles, in a sense, to a locust. And then this is also a locust eye, like it's looking out of a hole. See, like this is the hole. Or also this multi-layered. This is multi-layered. This is the eclipse, but it also looks like it's the abyss opening. And this is red. This is like hell being opened. And that's why it's shining red all over the place, okay? And this is a woman. This is a baby. Okay, this is crazy. Now let me focus in on this a little bit more so you can see. Again, you know, scorpion tail right in front of the woman's face. She's laying right here. There's her head. And then this is like her covering, you know, head covering right here. And this is a baby right here. So let me show you this. And then look at Osama bin Laden's, this caricature of him. See this? This is the eclipse right here. You see this? There's a moon and a sun around it. This is the eclipse. And then it's showing fire right here. Or in a sense, it's a dawn. Okay, it's like a sun coming up. And then that's shown on the Antichrist, and a version of that shown on the Antichrist chin. And that's fire. If you were to turn this upside down, is fire. Or even right side up somewhat, this fire. And then this is the sun coming up like a dawn. Like I said, Sabarka is the scorpion goddess of the dawn. Okay, and again, so let me keep going here. So this is a little bit more blown up. So the baby's face would be right here. Okay, and then the body wrapped up. Okay, and then here's the dark one right here. Okay, and check this out. This will trip you out how these come together. Wow, Lord is amazing. Thank you, Lord. Okay, and then so here's the baby in a different position here. Here's the other one, and how these come together. Check this out. The curved part of with the head and everything, and this actually could be the head upside down, the dark one. It probably is, okay, but see that, and then look at the dark one right there, how it's perfectly angular like that. And what does that look like to you? What could it be? I don't know. Satan? No, it is Satan, but it is a yin and yang. Wow. This is crazy. I hope you see all this because I'm blown away by the Lord and what he's shown me. I am blown away. I still am reeling from all this that I've been shown the last few days. Hard to believe. Okay, so we have both sides of the yin and yang. Okay, and again, the yin is the dark. It's negative, feminine, passive, intuitive, dark, light. Dark night, cold, soft, slow, moon. Okay, this is crazy. And then the yang is positive, masculine, active, logical, light, day, hot, hard. I mean, these are just contrasting things, but this is what they're showing. Okay, so again, we have over here, birth, feminine, dark. Right here, feminine, dark. Again, like I showed you, Obama was sitting in a pink chair. He is effeminate. His wife is a man. I mean, are you kidding me? He's a feminine side, the opposite of the God, masculine, man-child birth into heaven side that the Revelation 12 talks about. Okay, the opposites, dark, light, good, bad. I mean, give me a break. Night, day. I mean, hello, all the classic differences. And then, but check this out. What was I showing you earlier that this is? See that? That's an eclipse. And what is that made of? A moon and a sun. So the perfect symbol for a yin and yang birth is an eclipse, because the yin is the moon and the yang is the sun, and they're together. And that is a twin birth. And like I've shared before, my twins, okay, they came on May 10th, And they came months. We were pregnant months after the Lord showed me, months and months after the Lord showed me about the twin birth that's going to happen. And then we felt led to have another child. And then ended up being twins. And then we had an ultrasound of them. We had an ultrasound, and the guy said, "Hey, I'll give you some 3D pictures for free." And that was the very first thing we saw, was 3D pictures of them, and they're an exact. And I showed this on a previous video. It's been a while. I could have included this, I guess. But we did a 3D version of. We got 3D pictures first before even the 2D, and the guy said, "Hey, I'll give you this for free," or whatever. I'm like, "Hey, great." And then one of my children they're both in a yin and yang position. One of them was lighter, very obvious. One was dark, and they looked just like yin and yang. It was just so crazy, because I had been talking about this on the YouTube channel for months, about this twin birth that's coming. And then this is what God did, and it's crazy. And then, like I mentioned, from their birth, which was May 10th of this year, to the actual birth, I'm showing as 12/12, is 216 days. It is crazy. And that just is an evidence. My kids are not yin and yang. I mean, I'm just saying, as an example, it's a testimony from God. And the 216 days is an example of Barack Obama he was born on the 216th day of the year. So this is how God uses our lives for a testimony and a testament to what I've been talking about. It's crazy, okay? So, yeah, if you heard something in the background, like a rustling or something, I apologize. While I'm, talking, I'm moving my feet and stuff, and so, I just realizing that, because it's hard for me to sit still and talk sometimes. So, here, let me keep going here, and I'm getting close to being done here. So this is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda 3, DreamWorks. In fact, DreamWorks is actually gematria for the 9/12 day and stuff. It's just crazy. I'm sorry, it's not. It's the 25th for December 25th, and I just couldn't include everything. But so this is the panda. Guess what? This is not a moon. This is the eclipse. There it is. This is the eclipse. And then guess what? The panda is represented by the yin and yang, because he's black and white mixed on top of each other. I mean, it's crazy. And then guess what? So he's climbing up to get to this eclipse, which, it's been portrayed as a crescent moon, but it's really an eclipse secretly. And then he kind of falls on it, and here's the light shining. From the birth of both white and black, the light shining, like the light shining in heaven from the man-child being born in heaven, the light shining on the earth being the Antichrist birth in heaven being light, and then it shines. This is not a coincidence. And then later, just a few more scenes, a few more frames later, they go into the the other world, the spirit world, and then this shows up, the yin and yang right there. And then here's light. Again, if you weren't completely convinced, you should be now. I mean, there it is. Look at that. Okay, I've got one last thing to share with you, and then I'm pretty much done. Is The Simpsons. Now, this is a scene from one of the episodes of The Simpsons. I can't remember exactly right now, but anyway, he has a clock because Ned Flanders or whatever has a clock. I mean, I haven't watched Simpsons for like 20 years. I mean, I don't know what it's been. But I do remember that character when I did watch it a long, long time ago. I'd seen a few episodes and stuff. But I do know who this guy is. He's this weird Christian dude. Anyway, in Minutes to Rapture, it shows 9 and 23. And then he pulls the plug. So that's when the time is up, and it's 0. So this is basically alluding to 923. And again, there's 923 again, like I talked about in movies and everything. 923 is shown all over the place. And in what I'm sharing with you, on the 23rd, 12/23, is the tsunami wave that hits New York. And that would be in 9/23. And again, how is that? Well, 12 is really the 10th month. And then 10 is really, you take the 0 away from 10, you get 1. 1 looks like I, and I is 9th letter of the alphabet. And that's how they do this. Again, that they look at them all the same in their deception. So you don't know what it is until you figure out their codes and their plans and everything. And thank God the Lord has shown me how they do this stuff. Okay, so otherwise I wouldn't be able to show you all these things, because he's given me this insight. Jesus has done all this. Okay, I want to make that super clear once again, like I do. He has given me all this, And like us, I use my best interpretation as a non-perfect person to put it together and do the best presentation I can possibly. So, he just gives me pieces or, breadcrumbs on the trail. I do my best to put it together and make it something, and hopefully this is correct. It will be at some point, I believe. Okay, but again, this is all my theory at this point. But what I get from him are solid nuggets, and then some of it's my own interpretation of things that I see as well. But a lot of it, the big thing is that a lot of people see as, whoa, crazy, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, are the things from him, like some of the stuff I've been showing you on this video. Okay, so he pulls the plug, and time's up, and it's 0. So rapture, so it's basically alluding to the rapture is on 9/23, and there's going to be, I believe, on the tsunami day, is going to be a rapture of the innocents, for sure, and people in harm's way that are faithful believers and everything. So there'll be a second rapture after that. I'm not getting into all that right now. Okay, I've talked about that in the past. Okay, and then this is mind-blowing. Okay, so again, remember 9, this is another example how 12 is 9, and it shows it 9/22. Now, I showed you how 12/22 is Hawaii, and then 12/23 is the East Coast with the apple splitting, right? But 9/22 is also, like I said, is also 12, because 12 is really the 10th month, and that's 1, and 1 is looks just like I in many fonts and everything, and I is the 9th of the alphabet. So right here, and then I just think of right now, Evan Almighty, he said, when's the flood coming? September 22nd, midday. There it is, 9/22, September 22nd, midday, whatever, right? So I'm saying right here, this right here, this meter. So after he does this rapture clock, the other thing I forgot to put in there is he unplugs his VCR, and it says 12. That could be interpreted as midnight, possibly. And I'm talking about right around midnight Eastern time for, Christmas time, which is really crazy because it's about 5 in the morning UTC time in Malaysia at that time. So that's bizarre. So I'm not saying I know exactly when, but my goodness, it's really crazy right now. Okay, so what I believe is representing 9/22, which is really, like I said, December 22nd and +1. So it's showing the 22nd, +1 would be 23rd. So it's showing the 22nd and +1 would be the 23rd. Like I said, the apple splitting, one half is the 22nd, the other half is the 23rd. This is another way of showing it. 12/22 +1 is 23 right here. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. And then, so we have 9/22, which is 12/22, and then +2 would be the 24th. But he's not doing anything. He opens this door, okay, to this electrical box. So maybe Jesus is going to open the door. Maybe something happens. I don't know. So maybe the dead in Christ rise. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so this is very crazy, though. He opens a door, okay, and then when the next scene, then again we have 12. I'm saying by theory 12/22 +3 is 12/25. And guess what? He's flicking off all the power. Master bedroom. I mean, it makes me think of the master. Maybe we're going to his room at that time. I mean, but what's more crazy is he's shutting off all the power. And I believe when that nukes happen on the 25th, and what's the dawning of a new sick day down here, it's all the power's going to be off. Like in a lot of predictive programmed TV shows and movies, the grid's going to go down, and he's flicking off the power right there in the control panel. And that is on 12/22 or 9/22 shown +3, which is 25. Okay, now you go, okay, this is a stretch, whatever. And yeah, it may be, okay, but, well, I don't think it's a stretch, but it may be kind of reaching a little bit, okay. But now let's look a little bit deeper at this meter, okay. Okay, and if I'm right, it should confirm it in this possibly, right? What I've shown in Pixar movies and all kinds of stuff is the dates are shown more hidden, and then there's a confirmation of the exact day in other parts of the movie. And so they're showing confirmation because it's fine print. It's got to be known. It's the contract that you're signing by watching it, and the fine print is there in the details. You just have to find it and be led to it and understand it and all that stuff. It's like just how it works. So let me show you how this works. So we have in this dial right here, it's past the 4, but not quite to the 5. So it's a 4. This one, that's a 4. It's past 8, but it's not quite to the 9. It's an 8. This one, it's past 2, but not quite to the 3. It's 2. This one, it's past the 5, but not quite to the 6. Not quite to the 6, so it's a 5. So if you take 4 plus 8, you get 12, and 2 and 5 is 1225. Okay, I'm telling you, whatever. I mean, that's my best example of what I'm showing you. I mean, this is really crazy here, okay? So, I'm going to leave it at that, I think. And the thing I'm going to ask right now, and I'm going to play my brother Jeff Byerly's video that he just did a prophecy about the USS Abraham Lincoln, and what I believe a lot of what he's saying there is completely right on, or what he's saying is right on from the Lord. And then time is up, and I believe these things are about to be attacked, and so I'm going to play this video. But what I first want to say is I want to ask for your support again. For the ones who are moved by the Lord, that's it. This is just for you, not for anybody else. For the ones who are moved by the Lord that want to support what I'm doing, please pray for me and my family. I'm getting attacked all the time with different things, but God is great. Jesus is powerful. Jesus is wise. I'm thankful. But I would ask for your prayers. I would ask you to share these videos as well, please. I beg that from you, please. And share this with as many people as possible, so people see this before it happens, especially when these things start happening. Then all of you that believe in the truth will have foundation on your feet to be able to share the truth with people. And then I'm also asking for some support. So any of you that feel led to, just because I want to continue with as many as I can and as much information as I can, and spend my days doing more of this. I'm still working and everything, but the donations I get, I'll be able to do more of this during the day and put more stuff out for new people, and to support all my brothers and sisters that are basically watching for this day. So as far as the good part of this day, I mean, we don't want people killed. I mean, that's the last thing I ever want. But if you're conflicted about wanting to go to heaven, but then also just bummed and don't want people to be killed, then you understand what this is all about, what the struggle is all about. So, and I ask anyone who is inspired to give, I'll have a PayPal link in the description box, and I just thank you if you can, or if you already have, whatever, however you want to do it. If you're inspired, please, I ask for your support. So,
my brothers and sisters, this is Jeff Byerly back with you. And this will most likely be my last video on YouTube. As I have said before, I have a channel on brighteon.com. I have a website. You can read my posts on 444prophecynews.com and lighthascome.com. But I suspect this will be the last one for YouTube. But if it is not, if they don't take down my channel, I will continue to post on it. I will say this, I have over 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, and only about 150 on brighteon.com. So not many of you have heeded my call to go over there. I hope you do if you want to continue to listen to me. So anyways, without further ado, I want to get into the message. This is one of the most serious messages that the Lord has given me. And I just pray that you listen to it and heed what it is saying, because I don't think we have very much time left. And with that, I'll just begin to read. On Friday, December 6th, 2019, I read an article, and the title of it was, U.S. House Passes Resolution Supporting Two-State Solution. Then the Holy Spirit began to speak to me, and he told me to write it down. And here is what he said to me. The word of God cannot be broken. I am the one who has set the boundaries of Israel, Yet Babylon has conspired to divide and take away more of my land. The princes of Judah, who are not of me, but of the synagogue of Satan, think they can move the boundaries wherever they please. You take what is not yours, and you give away what I have given to my chosen in Israel. My wrath will be poured out upon you like water. Doom will come upon all of you who take part in this. It is like you are poking me in the eye with a needle. When you touch the apple of my eye, you're poking me in the eye at the direction of your father, Satan. All who take part in this shall be judged by me personally. I will arise from my holy habitation, and I will destroy you. Judah is my inheritance, and Jerusalem I will choose again. Would you steal from the Almighty Lord God Most High? The answer is yes, because you do not believe me or my word. But I will show you that the Holy One of Israel lives, and that he is severely angered. I will bring calamity upon you, and you will know that it is I that has done it. Because of this, and all of your blatantly prideful and egregious sin, my wrath has come upon you, American Mystery Babylon. You have not repented. Your ships will sink. Your planes will be grounded. Your tanks will be smashed. Your weapons will be rendered useless. I will shake your nation. I will split it in two. The waters shall rise up on your coasts, and then all that remains shall be burned to ashes in 1 hour. You will suffer utter humiliation, defeat, and devastation like no one has ever. O Babylon, the unconquered one, will you then cry out to me in repentance? Then he gave me Isaiah 47, verses 7 through 10, Amplified Version. And you said, I shall be queen forevermore. You did not consider these things, nor did you seriously remember the ultimate outcome of such conduct. Now then, hear this. You who live a luxuriant life, you who dwell safely and securely, who say in your heart, which is your mind, I am the queen, and there is no one besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, nor the loss of children. But these two things shall come to you abruptly in one day, loss of children and widowhood. They will come on you in full measure, in spite of your many claims of power through your sorceries, in spite of the great power of your enchantments. For now, you, Babylon, have trusted and felt confident in your wickedness. You have said, no one sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge have led you astray. And you have said in your heart, I am, and there is no one besides me. Excuse me. America, this is the Lord speaking to me. America, the one that you love, has said, do not wait for a Savior. America doesn't need a Messiah. But I say that is a lie. I will make you see your need for me. And then he told me to write down Isaiah 47, verse 11, Amplified Version. Therefore, disaster will come on you. You will not know how to make it disappear with your magic. And disaster will fall on you, for you cannot atone with all your offerings to your gods, and destruction about which you do not know will come on you suddenly. You do not know this is going to happen quickly because you do not listen to my prophets and watchmen. But this is what I have told those who truly speak what is from me. Your king shall be taken, the one they mistakenly call Cyrus, whom I have said as Belshazzar. Then shall come the true latter-day Cyrus. I have chosen him to put an end to the empire of America, Mystery Babylon. I have called him. I have sent him on this errand, and I will make him successful. See Isaiah 44, verse 14, listed below. He will build the third temple, and he will sit in it and proclaim himself to be God. See Ezra 5, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. He is the one from the tribe of Dan who will judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. He shall be a serpent by the way, a horned snake in the path that bites at the horse's heels, so that his rider falls backward. See Genesis chapter 49, verses 16 and 17. He is the Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in his hand is my indignation. See Isaiah 10. He is Pharaoh, and I have raised him up to show him my power and deliverance. See Exodus 9:16. He is Haman and Nebuchadnezzar, for he will cause the whole earth to bow down and worship him. See Esther, Daniel, and Revelation 13. He is one of the 7 kings. He is the 6th king, and he is the 8th king, and he goes to perdition. Revelation 17, verses 10 through 11. He will return to rule in public view, even though he has been ruling behind the scenes the whole time. After the fiery kickoff event in Manhattan that will take away King Trump, he is the man of lawlessness. He is the one who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped. He is Barack Hussein Obama. He is the final Antichrist. He will fool all those who are of the synagogue of Satan, the tares and the goats. For his countenance shall be changed, and he will not be as you see him now, when his Father totally indwells him. All who worship the beast or his image and receive his mark will be cast into the lake of fire. for eternity. He will not fool the elect, my chosen ones, for my sheep know me, and I know them, and they hear my voice, and another they will not follow. America, if you had obeyed my laws, you would have had peace flowing like a gentle river and great waves of righteousness. You would have outnumbered the sands of the seas, and I would not have to destroy your land. Even now I say, come out of her, my people. Leave Babylon, singing as you go. Shout with joy. Tell the whole earth. The Lord has saved his servants, the people of Jacob. You were all like Jacob, supplanters, offenders, wrongdoers. But I have wrestled with you, and you have held on to me until I blessed you. I gave you a new name, Israel, for you are triumphant and you have overcome. You will continue to overcome by my blood, by the word of your testimony, and loving not your earthly life unto death. You will not become thirsty when I lead you through the deserts, just like when I led my people out of Egypt. I am doing a new thing. The streams shall appear in the desert, even in a dry and weary land. I will make water flow from a rock for you, and you will be strengthened and healed. I am the rock who has been struck for you, says the Lord. The water of my spirit flows out continuously. Come and drink and thirst no more, and I will give you rest. There is no peace or rest for the evil, wicked, lawless people who obey not my commands and divide my inheritance, says the Lord God Most High. I will rule the earth from my throne in Jerusalem, but not in a temple made by human hands. Yeshua HaMashiach. The Lord is angered. Get ready. That's all I can say. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Seek him with your whole heart. Game time is over. This is it. I love you guys. And if we never see each other on this earth again, I will see you in heaven. God bless you all.